Hello everyone, I'm Neha Sharma, Assistant Professor at Institute of Information Technology and Management. Today I have come out with a very crucial and important topic. I would say it's the base of human resource, all the functions of human resource. That is human resource planning. So let's study about the brief in detail about the human resource planning. So let's first talk about the definition of human resource planning. Human resource planning is basically a process by which an organization ensures that it has the right number and the kind of people at the right place at the right time, capable of effectively and efficiently completing those tasks that will help the organization achieve its overall objectives. The human resource planning, it aims at ascertaining the needs of the workforce of the organization, both in the right number and of the right kind. It also further aims at this continuous supply of right kind of people to various positions in the organization. It is basically, I would say, it is a two-phase process by which a management can project the future of human resource requirements and develop suitable action plans to accommodate the implications of these projections. So, human resource planning is basically a process of developing and determining objectives, policies, and programs that will procure, develop, and utilize human resource so as to achieve the goals of the organization. Now let's come to the objectives of human resource planning. The first and the most important objective of human resource planning is forecasting the personnel requirement. Basically, forecasting how many people do we require in the near future, what kind of people at what position and at what time in the organization. That is one of the most important objective of human resource planning. Second important objective is it helps in coping with changes which takes place in the dynamic environment, because the change is the only constant factor. So if we do planning so well, planning here we are talking about human resource planning, then definitely it will help in dealing with the changes that might take in the near future. It helps in optimum utilization of human resources of the currently employed people in the organization. So it actually uses the existing manpower productively. It promotes employees in a systematic manner, because when the planning is being done so well in the organization, all other functions will be able to get implemented smoothly in the organization. It also control the cost aspect of human resource, because if planning is better, obviously it will help the reduction in the cost in various other functions of the HR. Importance of human resource planning. The first important thing is it actually creates a reservoir of talent within the organization. It ensures that we have the right number and the kind of people at the right place at the right time in the organization. It prepares people for future. It does planning for training and development of the employees in the organization. It expands and it helps in expansion and control of the firm. If the firm is planning to go expand for the expansion in the near future, maybe coming out with a new branch or maybe coming out with a new product or new department. So obviously, planning of human resource helps in getting the things done in a very smooth way, because it will ensure that the people with the right required skills are available in the organization and we are ready for the expansion. It helps in cutting costs and helps in succession planning too. So let's see what is succession planning. Succession planning is basically the process of identifying critical positions in the organizational chart and preparing employees below or parallel to such critical positions in the hierarchy to take over when the incumbent leaves the critical position due to resignation or any other reason. This is succession planning. How it is different from human resource planning? Human resource planning takes care of the planning of all the functions of the organization. It takes care of recruitment planning, selection planning. It takes care of training, development, all the plannings related to people in the organization. Succession planning, it only focuses on individual to individual employee. It is based on individual to individual employees. We identify the critical important position in the organizational hierarchy, and we also start preparing employees, either those who are below to that position or parallel to those position in the hierarchy, so that they can take over the such good positions, higher positions in the organization if that person leaves the organization due to any other reason. So that is succession planning. It works on individual to individual basis, and HR planning, it works out for the overall plans of the organization with respect to all the functions of HR. Now let's understand some of the need for human resource. Why do we need human resource planning in the organization? So the first important thing is for the employment situation, to employ people in the organization, to go with recruitment and selection. For we need planning to go for recruitment and selection. What kind of people do we require in the near future? How many people? At what position? At what time in the organization? So for that thing, we need HR planning. Technological changes are inevitable in the environment. It is continuously the technologies are getting obsolete and we are coming out with new technology. So this human resource planning helps in coping up with the technological changes. Also, it takes care of the organizational changes. Organizational changes means altogether restructuring of the organization if it happens, or maybe mergers or acquisitions happens in the organization. So at that point of time, also HR planning is required. If there are demographic changes in the organization, people from different castes, different religions working under the same roof, or both male and female are working in the organization, different income groups are working in the organization. So taking care of all these people and let everything go smoothly in the organization, we require human resource planning. Shortage of skills. Yes, if there is a shortage of skills within the organization, then definitely we need planning to overcome that shortage. We need to go with the proper planning of recruitment, planning of selection, and how we are going to overcome this shortage of skills. How, what kind of skills do we require, and in the near future, and what sort of people are going to fill up these positions, and from where are we going to get these people, how we are going to recruit and select. So that shortage of skills also, if it is there in the organization, HR planning is needed. Legislative controls, there are various government mandates and government rules, regulations and acts that need to be implemented in the organization. So for that also we need planning. Pressure groups means here I would say they are the competitors within the industry. So competitors also force certain changes in the organization that might be reactive or proactive, but for both the cases we need HR planning. Hiring cost, yes, HR planning is required in recruitment and selection of people in the organization. Now let's come to the most important part of human resource planning, that is human resource planning process. So the first important step I would say in the human resource planning is objectives of human resource planning. The ultimate purpose of HR planning is to basically relate future human resources to future enterprise needs, basically so as to maximize the future return on investment in human resource. Human resource planning, it should basically be integrated with the overall corporate plans. So HR planning actually should be done carefully, as it is as it has got the long term repercussions to the organization, because once it goes wrong, once the future has been forecasted wrong, then what will happen? The forecast of future requirement of human resource and the wrong analysis of the available human resource inventory that are made, it is not that easy to rectify the errors in the short run. So we need to be come out with the objectives of HR planning first. Therefore, HR planning should be more concerned with filling future vacancies with the right type of people rather than matching existing personnel with the existing job. So that should be the main objective of human resource planning. Second important point is, or second important step is skill inventory. It is basically finding the gaps. Analysis of current inventory may be undertaken by the department function or maybe the HR department altogether. Appropriate adjustments in these need would need to be made in the light of any unforeseeable changes in weekly hours, holidays, leave entitlements, and all. Now, what happened is the required talents are not available at the short notice. If we found out through this inventory the skill of existing employees that lies within the organization, it helps in drawing basically the talent that are actually present in the organization, and it also explains the need to ascertain the present human resource inventory in the enterprise and finding out the gaps that what is there and what is required in the near future. Next is demand forecasting. This is basically forecasting, demand and supply forecasting. This is basically demand forecasting means taking care of and finding out the demand of people within the organization in the near future. What kind of people, at what number of people, at what positions, and at what time do we need in the organization? And supply forecasting is from where are we going to get the supply of these people to fill up the vacancies in the organization. We'll discuss the techniques of demand and supply forecasting in the next slide. Ultimately, after going through the demand and supply forecasting technique, now we'll be clear and find out what is exactly the gap analysis. We'll be able to determine the net HR requirement. How many people do we require in the organization? Thereafter, we go to redeployment and redundancy plan. Now, redeployment, it is basically a plan has to be made for redeployment. Redeployment is basically if there are surplus employees or personnel in the organization, so they can be adjusted by redeploying them to some other department or to some other job within the organization. They can be transferred uh, within the departments or maybe departments from which there are surplus workforce to those having a shortage of workforce. They may be employment and they may get employed in the sister concerns. So there are various other ways through which you can redeploy employees in the organization. The redundancy plan is followed when we have after going through redeployment, again we have the excess of employees in the organization. Then we go with the redundancy plan. It can be layoff in the form of it can be VRS, or it can be compulsory retirement, or maybe leave of absence without pay. So there are various other ways of getting the employee redundant from the organization. And finally, after going through all this, the next phase is to determine how the organization obtain the quality and quantity of human resource required to meet the objectives of the organization. So long-term employment plan or program is to be made, and it should be checked out that it meets all the forecast deficits of human resource in the coming years. It should include all the recruitment, training, development, as the training and development is there in the next slide. So it should include all the program, or if the program should include all the functions of human resource in the near future. And finally, appraisal of human resource planning. After the employment and training programs have been implemented, an appraisal must be made of the effectiveness of human resource planning, how effective it was. Deficiency in the program should be pointed out, and the catalog of human resource inventory should be updated periodically. And in case of any corrective measures are required, then corrective action should also be taken wherever it is feasible and necessary to remove the deficiency in human resource planning. An appraisal of the existing human resource plan will also serve as a guide in the future human resource planning. Now let's discuss some of the methods of demand forecasting. The very first method is employment trend. Now employment trend, the human resource planning experts or at the corporate level should make an examination of number of employees on the payroll during the past 5 years to know the trend within which each employee works within each employee group. So, with the help of this, it would be possible to determine whether a particular group has been stable or unstable and whether it has been expanding or contracting over a period of time. So, based on this trend, we can forecast the human resource needs in the near future. Next is managerial judgment. The most typical, I would say, the method of forecasting used in smaller companies or those who do not have access to work study data is managerial judgment. This simply requires managers to sit down, think about their future workloads, and decide how many people they need. It might be done on a bottom up basis with line managers submitting proposals for approval by the top management, or maybe by taking the top down approach. Top down approach can be used in which a company and departmental forecasts are prepared by the top management, possibly acting on advice from the personnel and organization departmental heads. So these forecasts are reviewed and agreed with the departmental managers. Now the next third method of demand forecasting is work study technique. Under work study technique, we have two different studies. One is workload analysis and the other is workforce analysis. Now, work study technique, let me tell you, it is used when it is possible to apply work measurement to know how long operation should take and amount of labor required. So let's study first of all the workload analysis. So workload analysis is actually based on how much targets are scheduled for, what are the work schedules and sales forecast, and how much target is being scheduled for that particular year. So based on that, the sales force forecasts are translated into work performance for the various departments of the enterprise. And what happen is workload analysis is used to determine how many employees of various categories are required to achieve total production target. So based on the workload, we are finding out how many people do we require, of what category do we require in the near future. So that is workload analysis. Now workforce analysis, what does it say is basically it says that in whatever we have done in the workload analysis, we have come out with the number of employees and the type of employee required in the near future to achieve that workload target. But it is necessary, this is what workforce analysis says, it is necessary to keep a sufficient margin for absenteeism, labor turnover, and ideal time on the basis of past experience. It is essential to keep a margin of 20% of human resource required as per the workload analysis. So that is what the workforce analysis says, that all the employees, if we assume that all the employees are available at all the 365 days in the organization, that is not possible. People will take leave due to absenteeism, due to labor turnover, or any other reason. So we need to consider the margin. We need to keep a margin of around at least 20% of the human resource as required as per the workload analysis. So that is the work study techniques, workload analysis and workforce analysis. Now next is replacement need. The need for replacement arises from death, retirement, resignation, and termination of employees. The examination of replacement needs may relate to specific human resource groups, may be supervisory, skilled, clerical, or unskilled. For some groups, like managerial or supervisory, it is very difficult to predict the needs. One of the major difficulties involved in predicting the need for managerial skill is that the management development cycle takes a long time. So the need of for managerial human resource should be anticipated sufficiently in advance. Now, the next method is productivity. Now, another important area to which the human resource planning is related is the improvements in productivity. Gains in productivity actually adds to the growth potential of the organization and can make possible healthy wage increase. So gains in productivity will decrease the requirement of human resource in the near future. Next method is absenteeism. Now, while estimating the demand for human resource, the prevailing wage rate of absenteeism in the company should be considered. The rate of absenteeism should be calculated and it should be considered unduly high and steps should be taken to reduce it. And the last method of demand forecasting is growth and expansion. The expansion plan of various plants and divisions should be carefully reviewed to assess their probable effects on the number of employees required by each group. The accuracy with which such small human resource requirements can be forecast will depend, among other things, on the degree of accuracy with which can be achieved in relation to the expansion program, where the expansion program is less specific and the time perspective is larger, the uncertainties will be greater. So a good organization always try to adapt to changes in the methods and techniques of production. So that is again an important method of demand forecasting. Now let's come to some of the methods for supply forecasting. Supply forecasting means how and from where do we get the supply of people within the organization. Now, it is basically there are two sources of supply of human resource to the organization. One is internal, the other is the external. Internal supply is more important for human resource planning because it comprises of the employees working in the organization who can be promoted or transferred to fill up the vacancies as and when they fall vacant. Now, this would require evaluation of the present personnel abilities, their strengths and weaknesses so as to gauge their suitability for different jobs. So, in order to estimate internal supply of people, it is necessary for the human resource management to conduct HR inventory and HR audit and manpower replacement charts. So first, let's study about what is HR inventory or HR audit as one of the internal method of supply forecasting. Systematic HR audit would actually lead to preparation of skill inventories. Within the organization, we prepare the inventory of existing manpower, what kind of skills do they possess, what experience do they have, what qualifications do they have, and it would give a thorough idea of the capabilities and potential of persons working in the organization. It would also point out the types of skills that need to be acquired or developed for future. That is about HR audit, how it helps. Next is replacement charts. Now, replacement charts are meant for listing key for each key position and indicating time when it is likely to be vacant. Now, they also list the most important likely candidates working in the organization suitable to fill up the vacancies and also the time when they would be ready for promotion. In short, I would say replacement chart presents clearly who will replace whom in case of vacancy in the near future. Often large enterprises, I would say, use computers to record job analysis information and human resource audits and replacement summaries. So these are the internal methods of supply forecasting, which is very important to HR planning. And the external methods are like working population, education and training institutes, we go for campus placements and all, unemployment level, unemployment people in the market, those who have registered in the consultancies, firms, maybe private or government. So these are some of the external methods of forecasting, but definitely being the HR manager, if you're doing HR planning, we need to focus first on the internal supply forecasting technique. And then if even if the people are not available and we are not able to fill up the vacancy with the internal sources, then we proceed with the external sources of supply forecasting. The last part of human resource planning is the problems, or I would say the limitations that arises in human resource planning. The first important thing is identity crisis. There is generally identity crisis, and many managers as well as human resource specialists do not fully understand the total human resource planning. They don't have clarity on human resource planning. There can be little doubt that unless the HR planning specialists develop a strong sense of purpose, they are more likely to fail. Another important problem is lack of support from top management. HR planning requires full and wholehearted support from the top management. In the absence of this support and commitment, it would not be possible to ensure the necessary resources, cooperation, and support for the success of the human resource planning. Third point is insufficient initial efforts. Successful human resource planning flourishes slowly and gradually. Sometimes sophisticated technologies are forcefully introduced in the organization just because competitors have adopted it. Now, these may not be successful unless matched with the needs and environment of a particular enterprise. So that is very important. Another thing is resistance from employees. Now, employees in trade unions, they often resist human resource planning. They feel that the planning increases their overall workload and regulates them to productivity bargaining. They also feel that it would lead to wide spread of unemployment and especially of the unskilled labor. So that's also a concern for the concern with the trade unions, and that's why they resist from employees. They create that resistance is there from the employees. Next is coordination with other managerial functions. There is generally a tendency on the part of human resource planners to remain aloof from other operating managers and to become totally absorbed in their own world. So, to be effective, human resource planning must be integrated with all other managerial functions. It is expensive and time consuming. I would say employers may resist human resource planning, feeling that it increases the cost of human resource. Yes, uncertainties, labor absenteeism, labor turnover, trade cycles, technological changes, market fluctuations are the uncertainties which serve as a constraint to human resource planning. It is risky to depend upon general estimates of human resource in the face of rapid changes in environment. Insufficient information, the last point. In most of the, I would say, Indian organization, human resource planning system has not been fully developed. In the absence of reliable data, it is not possible to develop effective human resource plan for the long run. So that's all about human resource planning today we discussed, and this is one of the most important topics of human resource management, the base of all the functions of human resource management. Thank you so much. Very soon I'll be coming out with another important topic in human resource management. Thank you once again.